Hi, my name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional traveler and filmmaker. I'm going to do an audio test of the Sony ICD-UX560 today for you. Today I'm going to do an audio test of the Sony ICD-UX560 recorder. I'm going to test its direct audio output, its lavalier input versus a Zoom H5, its lavalier input, its audio mic direct input, and then just the general camcorder microphones on my Canon G20 to give you a baseline to hear what this unit sounds like. But before I do that, if you wouldn't mind, please hitting the subscribe button that helps me bring this channel to you. And also please leave a comment below and let me know how I'm doing. And also provide me some ideas of other things I can bring to you. Thank you very much. First, let me adjust the camera. Okay, so right now, well, let's just get right into it because this is going to take a bit. I am recording on a lavalier mic, just an inexpensive $20 or $30 job. I'll put a link below to this microphone. I have it set on my shirt collar. You can hear me touching it, so it's pretty sensitive. And I've got my camera at about 20% full volume. Now I'm going to turn on my Sony ICD-560, powering on. Okay, so now we have recording. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, go into record. And I've got the record option here, and I'm going to hit option. And recording folder, seeing record mode. So I'm going to record first in the maximum data rate. This is LCPM 16-bit or whatever it is. Where does it say there? LPCM 44K and 16-bit, okay? And I'm going to hold the microphone at my mouth, but before I do that, I'm going to put in to the built-in microphone sensitivity, and I'm going to set it for voice, and I'm going to have sensitivity at low, okay? And that's normally what you would do when you're recording to you. So it is set to low. Okay, and now we're going to hit record. Okay, now we're going to hear handling sound. Now granted, all microphones, if you handle them, they're going to be loud. And you can see right now, the audio level meter is going up. So I'm going to switch now to the ICD audio at LPCM 44K16. I'm going to hold the microphone 4 inches away from my mouth at 45 degrees so I don't get puffs of wind. And now this is the Sony ICD LPCM microphone data input with the internal microphone with the audio level set to low. And I'm going to read this passage. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And now we will do a silence test. Okay, and that ends the silence test. I can hear my little timer in the background grinding. I can hear a tiny bit of wind outside, but it's relatively quiet in my office here. Another silence test. Okay, there we go. Now I will stop recording. All right. Now I will go to record mode there. And I will put this to MP3 at 192K like I would normally do with my recorder. Again, the microphone sensitivity is set to low. We now hit record. And I will now do a silence test. Okay, there's my silence test. Here's my handling test. I'm sure it's going to be noisy because I can't hear it at the moment. And now I'm going to read the passage with the microphone roughly 4 inches again from my mouth. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and created to the proposition that all men are created equal. And now I can hear neighbors banging and knocking. And also I can hear a faraway dog. Okay? So now I'm going to stop the recorder. There we go. And now I'm going to change the built-in microphone sensitivity for voice because I don't have any music. I'm going to set it to, let's see, we're going to set it to auto just to see what happens, okay? All right, and I'm going to leave this in MP3 just for convenience. And now I'm going to begin recording again. We're now recording. And I will do a silence on auto mode. Okay, and I will read 4 inches from my mouth or thereabouts. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Silence test. Okay, I will stop the recording. All right, and now I will go back to built-in mic sensitivity for voice. And now we're going to go to medium. And we'll begin a recording. And this is at the 4 inches away, 45 degrees from my mouth, so I don't get any plosives. Silence test. Okay, and now we're going to record. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Silence test. I can hear a motorcycle. I can hear my little timer clicking away. So now we will stop. All right. Now we're back on my lavalier on the camera, of course. And now I will change the mode, built-in sensitivity. And we will for voice, and we'll crank that up to high. Okay, same thing again. Begin recording in high sensitivity. Silence test. Okay, now we're going to do the reading test, about 4 inches from my mouth, 45 degrees off. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Again, a silence test. Okay, I could hear a crow outside and a motorcycle. All right, now we're going to stop. I'm going to return this built-in record mode here, the mic sensitivity for voice, and we're going to put that on low. There we go. Now I'm going to switch the lavalier over, and we'll see what it sounds like. So right now I'm touching the lavalier. It is on my shirt in this position. I will do a silence test on my camcorder. Okay, there you go. So now we're going to switch over. So it's going to be loud. And now we're going to listen to my camera's on-camera mic. It probably doesn't sound as good. Now we'll listen to room audio. All right, there we go. And now I'm going to plug in my lavalier microphone into the microphone input, wherever it is. There you go, right there. Okay, we're now plugged in. And now the device shows mic in sensitivity because we don't have a line in. So sensitivity set. All right, for voice. And now we'll go with low just to see what happens. All right, so now the microphone is, I'm going to hit record. And there we go. So we're going to do a silence test. Okay, and now we will do a Lavalier speaking. Again, 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now the display shows that, hello, let me just hit an arrow there to wake it up, and I can see that the audio levels are peaking around, they're averaging at 12 dB, minus 12 dB, and peaking at 4 dB. That is more than adequately loud enough, so I'm not going to turn it up past there. Again, all this recording has been done on the ICD unit, and we're recording, so now I will stop. There we go. So now I'm going to switch over to the camcorder audio. All right, let me see if there are any other options I need to do for you. Voice, music. Oh, well, let me do a recording just for music, just to see what it's like. That's meant for much louder venues. Low music. All right, well, I don't have any low music to play, so because otherwise YouTube will kick this. So I will do this. All right, and again, I will record my voice. 4 inches away, silence test. Okay, and we're recording on the recorder. And I will again speak. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Silence test. Boom. Okay. I will stop the recorder now. All right, now we will go, I might as well do the whole thing. What the heck? Record mode. And whoops, sorry, back. Wrong button. Option again. Built-in mic sensitivity for music. And we're going to go to medium here. All right, and we'll record again. Silence test. Okay, and now we will speak. Or I will speak, you will listen. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Silence test. Okay, stop. And now option built-in mic sensitivity for music and high. So if the microphone or the piano is really far away, there we go. Now we're recording. Silence test. Okay, now I will read. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, dedicated, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Messed up that one. Silence test. Boom, done. Okay, so we're going to stop that. The option mic sensitivity for music, and I think low, medium, high, medium, low. So this doesn't have an auto mode, by the way. Medium, high, low. I don't think auto makes any sense on this. So I will go back, if I can. Stop. All right. I'm going to go back to voice. And I do this on MP3 because that's a realistic test. Chances of doing wave, like, it's not the point. Voice and then low. Okay, cool, good. All right, so that is the completion of this test here. And now I've been using the lavalier on my camcorder. And now I will use my handy dandy Zoom 5. I will put the gain at 5. And you can see, yeah, you can kind of see it levels out there. And so I've got left, right, gain at 5. Okay, good. Took a moment to get this set up. The Zoom 5 has a lot of options. So comparing the Sony ICD-UX560 versus the Zoom H5 seems pretty crazy, but this is a viable option for running around because you can stick this in your pocket and nobody would notice. Somebody might notice a Zoom H5. Not that you're recording illegally, but when you're doing a lot of recording and running around, you know, this is pretty nice. So now I will do the same thing. I'm using the built-in 90-degree stereo microphone. I have set the microphone level to 5 because I don't have any other good choices. I will now begin recording here, and the recording counter is counting. I will now hold the microphone 45 degrees and about 4 inches away with a silence test. Okay, and now I will read and hopefully not mess up. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Silence test. Okay, I will now hit stop. And now we will use the lavalier into the Zoom to compare the lavalier sounds. And I might edit this so all the lavaliers are together. All right. Microphone in. Okay. Ooh, too hot. How about that? All right. So I've got the microphone. I had to turn it down a bit because this lav's pretty sensitive and it's pretty hot. So now my computer beeped. And we're now hitting record. And we're recording on the lavalier through the Zoom. Silence test. Okay, and now I will read through the lavalier through the Zoom. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Silence test. Boom. Okay. Unplugging this guy. Good and loud. And so that was the Zoom H5. I need to charge the batteries up and I will shut it. Okay, now I will do a silence test with the lavalier on the camera. And now I will read with the lavalier on the Canon G20. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Silence test. Cool. Now I will do an ambient. Yeah, that should sound great. Oof. Let's see, silence test. And now we will do a reading. It should be boomy and terribly echoey. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And there you go. So, as you can see, you get some professional headphones on. Echoey, echoey. Let's go back to the lavalier. Okay, so now we're going to do an in the field test rather than just the studio. I know I'm going to test the 3 different modes here. So what I'm going to do is set built-in mic sensitivity for voice and low standard. And it's kind of cold out here. So now I'm going to record with 4 inches away, 45 degrees. I'm at the beach. There's a 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze here. So I'm just recording on the microphone on low, and now I'll do a silence test. There we go. And 7 years ago, our forefathers, I can't remember what I'm supposed to read, but that's okay. You get the idea? Okay, now I will change the mode, to built-in mic sensitivity for voice. And now it's going to be focused. Let's see how that goes. All right. So now, all right. Okay, now I'm going to work in the focus mode, 4 inches away. Breeze running across the microphone at about 45 degrees. And this is the focus mode, so silence. And now I'm going to say, 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty. So that's the focused mode, and you can see I'm freezing, sorry. Okay, recording stopped. And now, built-in mic sensitivity for voice, and now wide mode. All right. Okay. And we're recording. Okay, handling noise. Again, light 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze with the beach over there. And silence. Okay, here's seagulls. And our fathers, 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this nation, on this continent, a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the idea that all men are created equal. So that's the wide mode. Okay, we're stopping. And just so you can hear it again, for voice, wide, and back to regular normal. Alright, so that focus mode, okay, so we're back on normal mode, so that focus mode actually might get rid of a lot of stuff. I don't know how they do it in here, but they do. And so that's pretty handy. Hopefully it sounds good. We'll find out. And this is recording on my iPhone 10, which I'm sure sounds great too. Much better. Doesn't sound so bad. So there you go. That was a test of the Sony ICD-560 versus the Camcorder with a lavalier with direct audio on there compared to the lavalier on my Zoom, and also the built-in microphones that the Zoom H5 comes with. Hopefully you found this video helpful for evaluating the audio performance. Now, just to let you know, this is a micro recorder. If you're really, the audio is not incredible. It's a micro recorder, people. That's right. If you need something serious, well, kind of serious, prosumer, get a Zoom. If you think, this isn't great, well, go buy a sound design. I'll put a link there too. And when you see the price, you'll be like, whoa, exactly. So if you want the ultimate, you're going to have to pay a couple $1,000. But in the tiny little package that this has, it has amazing recording ability. I've used this as my backup mic to film shows. So just consider that. It's not too shabby. So hopefully this has been very helpful for you. My name is Aaron Linsdow. I'm a polar explorer and professional traveler and filmmaker. Please like and comment on the video and subscribe to my channel. And also please support me on Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon. Thank you very much for watching.